Radiation. It's both fascinating and terrifying. With so much power that it can give, it also comes with a heavy responsibility of terrifying destruction. So a matchup between two beings that are simply walking nuke bombs ready to go off by any tiny inconvenience makes a interesting matchup. Godzilla versus Hulk. Two characters that represent the fear of the nuclear power.
Me personally, I like the idea. Both being my favorite characters from each media. Hulk being my favorite Marvel character, and Godzilla being my favorite kaiju because let's be honest, like whose favorite kaiju is that? But I feel like not everybody has the same compassion when it comes to this matchup, which I get because many people assume it's gonna be a stump, which when I first saw it, yes, I thought it was going to be a stump because, the comic book character that's been around since many, many years is going to have many crazy feats. While Godzilla, who's a movie character, doesn't have very feats that might go apart with Hulk. But let me tell you something. They're gonna pull something out. Godzilla does have comics, and I haven't read them, but I can assume there's something crazy. So I personally want to see how they're gonna animate this fight and how the destruction is gonna be.
But another thing that I realized that many people don't want this is because of the size difference. If you thought Frieza and Megatron was a huge size difference, so Hulk versus Godzilla match is a scale breaking match, especially when Godzilla is, a huge fucking monster, which will make Hulk look like a tiny cockroach trying to fly at him, hopefully to scare him off. But me personally, I think the appeal for this match, for me, is the size difference, which you can come up with very creative angles, proportions for this fight, making us feel small and making us feel immersed in the fight even more, making us feel like we're the Hulk fighting against a giant atomic cancer-breeding lizard. I believe scale will play an important key for this fight to become successful, or at least make it into a wow factor, because really, that's all we care about it, if it looks good. Here comes the biggest part that might affect the outcome of the match being either garbage or amazing. Animation style. The main reason why I say animation style plays an important part when it comes to this match, because of how special it is because not all animation styles can do size different matches justice, because let's be honest, not all of them can really do scale and proportions the right way that some can do. Look, as much as I love 3D animation, I feel like there's limitations of what you can do with 3D when it comes to making a upscale giant scale fight. Now don't get me wrong, there always are some exceptions, especially in video games, so don't go in the comment section saying I'm an idiot and there's some evidence. But I think 3D animation, especially in Death Battle, will be hard to pull off, especially when it comes to the close-ups, since it will be hard to really give close-up detail to Godzilla's skin, and not all models are very detailed, especially when you are in close proximity of the face. Which, if the Hulk ever gets close and personal to punch Godzilla, it will be very noticeable to see the, imperfections of Godzilla's model, which will break my immersion, to be honest. But hey, if they doing it, then they might as well do it right. Now, if they ever come to making, the fight into sprite animation, I feel like it'll be the worst decision to make this fight into sprites. Now, most of you who don't know, but the way how sprites works, especially in 8-bit video games, is that they're made of little squares. And the way how sprites usually handle size difference when it comes to like enemies and opponents, they give them more, detail features, which will feel a little bit, distracting. Now, I feel like the best decision to make this fight has to be in hand-drawn animation. Now, I know Death Battle is probably not gonna do it because 2D animation takes longer than 3D or sprite animation, because they have to draw it over and over again, especially when you need to draw the same figure 12 times in one frame. If you want to make it look smooth and professional, of course. The main reason why I believe hand-drawn animation will do justice for this fight is because one of the more easier mediums to do scale and proportions, which you can do a lot of creative things for it to make this fight more entertaining with hand-drawn animation. Now the problem with hand-drawn animation when it comes to death battle, especially like with this type of scale and humongous matchup, is that they need to put a lot more detail, especially in Godzilla, especially when Hulk comes into the punch and there's like a close-up to Godzilla's face or body, getting destroyed or something like that. So like I said, it's the 2D animation is a lot more harder to do it because of the scale, and they had to use a lot more detail for Godzilla. But yeah, I think it's the better medium for that. Now, who do I think is gonna win this fight? Well, this is gonna be a little bit of bias, but I think the Hulk is gonna win this fight. One simple answer. It's because he's a comic book character and he has a lot more information. But hey, they might do my boy the Hulk dirty and let Godzilla win because let's be honest, Death Battle is doing the Hulk dirty. They've been shedding on him for a while with Doomsday, with Broly, and if he loses in Godzilla, it's gonna leave a bad taste for many people. Like, many people are tired of, how to say, Hulk's L. But I have to be honest, I hope they do like the climax perfect, where everybody's gonna be happy and stuff like that. Something similar to how they did with Dragon Ball, especially with Goku versus Superman, where they did it 3 times and Goku loses 3 times in a row, but in the end, everybody was happy in the dirt fight because it did the characters right.
But hey, that's just my opinion of what do I expect for, Godzilla versus Hulk. I'm a little bit excited and a little bit worried. Worried because of how they're gonna animate this. Because if it's 3D, I just hope for the best. If it's sprite, I just hope it doesn't look bad. If it's 2D, I also hope for the best that it doesn't look bad and they try their best. And also, I'm really hoping for a W for my boy Hulk. Because like I said before, they done him dirty so many times. So I just hope that my boy the Hulk wins. Even though there's probably gonna be someone in the comics saying like, "Oh no, Godzilla is multiverse or whatever." But whatever, like you know how Death Battle is. They always pick and take whatever they want to make it look equal. Because I have to be honest, Hulk should have won that fight with Broly and Doomsday. Well, see you later, much as it feels.